So Dajjal is going to come here, and that's our prophecy, not theirs. And he's going to say, there I give you the white palace of Muhammad. He's going to come on the edge of Uhud. So Greater Israel does not have Medina in there. Which, हमें पता है ना हदीसों से, he can enter everywhere. Well, this is where he's going to enter. Everywhere else he's not going to go. His disciples are going to go. Just a little food for thought. This is currently the impact that they're translating from Moses. Next global reset came by our Prophet. He reset the globe. He literally reset the globe, because at that time there were many powers going on. And I'm not going to draw the map, bring in the map of the Roman and the Greco-Roman thing going on, or the Persian and whatever's going on in China. But this is the Muslim reset. One man, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, resets the globe. So much so that this becomes of that reset. This is not the current situation. This is just an impact, okay? This is one man's reset. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay? Now, you can see that this was also under the Muslim land right here. This is it, Spain, Gibraltar, Spain, Portugal, Gibraltar, everything. This is not here because this is Indonesia, the Muslim country now. So it's very recent. Okay? So, after this, the global reset was done 1400 years ago. Between these, there are two more big resets. Between these. But not going to that detail. This is the more relevant, because I'm in England, so I kind of brought in your queen. All of you guys have said her name at least once, right? When you were saying God save her, right? So, that was the big reset. This is what she did. The Victorian reset. One woman with a vision resets the globe. This is the Victorian reset, what happens. By the way, these are all Victorian islands. She was really into islands. She reset the globe. So, what happened after Victoria? Well, somebody else reset the globe. Tried to fail, a German. He tried, the world was reset. He didn't do it, but it was reset. This is how it looks like. This is the global reset going on. Well, one guy rose from the ranks in Germany. Yeah. So, everybody against this one man. Everybody. Okay? So, this happens again. Here, this is one army, everyone else is against him. Global reset. Global reset means, what does that mean? You see what I'm saying? Everyone changes the definition of how they look at things. We are still under this reset. We, Pakistanis, are under this reset. Every Muslim is taught, no matter what you do, you start with what? A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. The most underrated statement in Islam, Muslims. It is the core of all Muslims. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim means first and foremost, the bigger enemy. Okay? And then, uphi aur saas. Pehle, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. That means this whole globe is under a certain power which is going to exert towards whatever wrong that can be done by a single man or an individual or a group. So, why I'm telling you this is that unless we understand the whole system, we won't be able to understand. And I'm going to show you with proofs, all of those from all angles, that there is a certain human nature of the whole human beings coming together, which we need to study and read. I'm going to make it for you. I've read all of it. I've studied all of it. I'm going to present a summary. You're going to get all of it. Don't worry. You don't have to read all of those books. I want to quote you all the references. Now, human beings in the globe, they behave as a single organism. They always have been, they always are, and they always will. We just don't read into it. And if you need to come, as Muslims need to come out of the situation we cannot come out of it. As Muslims, we cannot. Okay? But as human beings, we can, if we know as Muslims that how human beings work. Okay? Understand this concept. This concept is called a global reset. Global reset happens when any event on the globe at a scale which is involving everybody in the globe. If anything which is of a global nature happens, starting from even an individual or a group or a nation or a country, if it takes over the globe, the whole, every single power that Shaitan has or anything else can be reset. So, why do we need to do that if there is such a power? If we can reset the globe, why do we need to do that? Because, well, we're Muslims. We need to reset everything. Okay? So understand what a global reset is, first of all. When 7 billion people, all of us, we believe that, you know what, there is a superpower in America. We have a certain fashion, we have a certain culture, we have a certain definition of right and wrong. यहाँ ऐसे नहीं करते, यहाँ पे तो कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता, इसका कुछ नहीं हो सकता, ये कामयाब है, this is a failure. Whatever we have definitions going on, every definition can be reset in a matter of one man's effort. Of course, it has to structure into the group's effort. So what is a global reset? Global reset is a very simple phenomenon involving bigger powers of the planet at the same time affecting the rest of the people which are dependent on those bigger powers. If you can engage in those bigger powers, get them to engage with your effort, even for or against, doesn't matter. If they're involved in the game, you have a chance to reset the globe. This happened many times, don't worry. I want to show you many examples. But the most important event, the biggest reset ever happened was, in our recent history, was 3,000 years ago. When one man, alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, took one man's journey, literally one man, his own family was against him. Okay? But he went through the journey and the struggle, and he did whatever he did, and this is what he did to the globe. One man, alayhi salam, this is what one man did to the globe. All of these colors that you see are other than pink. Pink is also in a little shade of Ibrahim alayhi salam. This is pink. But all of whatever is all of wherever, they believe in Ibrahim alayhi salam and his covenant, his purpose. The purpose of Ibrahim alayhi salam, there you go, all of it. One man, globe. How did it start? It started here, and then it ended here. Actually, it ended here in Palestine. Okay? This is Ibrahim alayhi salam's struggle. He didn't live for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. No. So Mu'min, where's Mu'min? Gone? Iman? Okay. Kids, make sure you understand. One man, Ibrahim alayhi salam. This is how he resets. This is how he resets the globe. One can argue he was a prophet, got a lot of divine help. Okay? Okay, yeah, that's true. Then something else happened. Took many years. Human beings went back into the whatever they do. फिर अमेरिका और चाइना की लड़ाई होगी, रूस की लड़ाई होगी इब्राहिम अलैहि सलाम के बाद. मैं मिसाल दे रहा हूँ. उस वक्त की powers, all of the evil came back in, and then a lot of prophets came between him and him. But the global reset was not done by any prophet except this one man, alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam. Okay, he came and he reset in even smaller journey, very small journey, but he reset the globe. So much so that still the biggest problem right now on the globe is in the name of Moses. Last speech in the UN by Netanyahu was in the name of Moses. Imagine that. Now we know that this is Israel. This is Israel. Okay? But they call it Israel. I don't believe I want to say this word, but this is Israel, right? But this is the actual promised land in the book of Genesis and Deuteronomy. This is the land that was promised. So when Netanyahu, when he says, we all know that Israel is promised by God to the Jews. He says that, well, this is what he means. Because this literally is the promised land in the Bible, the Old Testament. ये जो MBS को बहुत ज़्यादा नखरा चढ़ा हुआ है ना. So this is Medina, by the way. This is Medina. Well, here somewhere. Here.